On today's Two on Your Side town hall, Governor Kathy Hochul suggesting she might support a plan to decriminalize sex work in New York. It's a big topic right now at the state capitol. We'll hear from those on both sides of the debate.
Plus, what new numbers say about Buffalo's used car market and what an analyst says car shoppers should be considering right now.
And from the football field to a gymnasium full of kids, we'll be checking in with Bills safety Jordan Poyer 6 months after he revealed he's now sober. How he's making his off days count as our Kids Escaping Drugs tele-event continues.
We are glad you're with us, and we're going to start today's town hall with a debate that's been going on for a long time, but is all of a sudden making some headlines. Should New York State decriminalize sex work?
Many progressives are pushing for this change. They say for years Andrew Cuomo stood in the way, but it may be a different story now that Kathy Hochul is governor. So take a look at the headline from City and State. It says Hochul says she is open to decriminalizing sex work. When asked about this issue, she told a reporter, quote, "It is absolutely something I've thought about and I'm considering. I'm discussing it with many advocates and people who have strong opinions on this."
The article notes how there are two very different proposals in Albany. One would remove criminal penalties against sex workers and those who pay them. The other would make it no longer a crime to sell sex, but it would still be illegal to pay for it. Now, despite that divide, advocates for decriminalization are more optimistic now than ever before.
Now, on the flip side, opponents are also gearing up for quite a fight. There isn't much recent reliable polling on this issue, though.
There was a 2016 survey from Marist. It asked simply, do you think prostitution between consenting adults should be legal or should not be legal? 49% said legal. 44% said not legal, but less than a third thought the sex worker or the person paying should be criminally prosecuted.
Now, there are certainly two sides to this issue, and some people aren't quite sure where they stand on it. Maybe they haven't studied it much. So we asked two activists who are for and against decriminalization why it would be good or bad for New York State.
Prostitution is the exploitation of women. In my opinion, women who become prostitutes are either addicted to drugs or alcohol, or they're runaways. It is not a profession of choice. Decriminalization promotes sex trafficking. There's been studies that have been done in the Netherlands where 80% of the women in brothels are brought in from other countries. Decriminalization is a gift to pimps. You have legalized what they do now. You've given them justification, and you've allowed them to continue and prosper. Most prostitutes are physically abused. Again, studies show that over 80% of prostitutes are physically assaulted by their pimps or their buyers. It objectifies women. It degrades women to the status of a sex object. The left claims they want to protect women. This is the exact opposite. It is the slippery slope. So we've already approved gambling. We're approving marijuana. And now we're going to prostitution. The government wants to tax these entities, and what the government is really doing is it's encouraging the demoralization of our country.
It would be an indication that New York is not a state that penalizes people for trying to survive within a system that requires people to work. So to earn enough money is required to, make a living in a society with few safety nets. So decriminalization of sex work is really about protecting people who are workers. It's also about protecting people who may face exploitation in the sex trades. So decriminalization we see as removing some of those barriers for people who are choosing to work in the industry, and it also makes it so people who may be experiencing some level of exploitation have better access to services. Decriminalization would also free up law enforcement. Instead of going out and trying to arrest anyone involved in sex work, they would be able to focus on the people who are experiencing exploitation, working on those cases that are specific to trafficking. Because we don't see it as a successful endeavor to say that you're doing an anti-trafficking effort when in fact all you do is end up arresting people who are consenting adults working at a job. that is not going to protect anyone from exploitation. So decriminalization, as I've said, is really about ensuring the rights and safety of New Yorkers. It's a step towards racial justice. It's a step towards LGBTQ rights. It's a step towards migrant rights. It really brings in all of these issues that I know are critical to all New Yorkers and should matter to everyone, whether they be in the cities or in the rural areas of the state.
So two viewpoints on this issue. It's unclear which proposal, if either, Governor Hochul may ultimately support, but we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, more to come on that. So moving on now on the town hall, with all of our discussion today about addiction since it's KED Day, there is a related story that you're going to see only here on NBC.
It is a potential breakthrough for chronic abusers in the form of brain surgery. In an NBC News exclusive, Kate Snow takes you inside the operating room to see this innovative surgery happen. The doctor implants electrodes in an effort to cut drug cravings, and the patient is actually awake for part of it.
I mean, I'm getting holes drilled into my brain. Like, it's scary.
Why are you willing to do that?
Because I don't want to die.
Kate explains the surgery step by step, and you see a critical part of the treatment, plus how the patient is feeling weeks later. That is ahead at 6:30 on NBC Nightly News. And now we turn to our special tele-event raising money for kids escaping drugs.
Yeah, we want to start by actually taking you to the KED Renaissance campus in West Seneca. Here's a live look at the phone bank. Volunteers taking your calls and accepting your donations. We here at Channel 2 have supported this for many years.
The number to call is 716-822-2220. You can also text KED to 76278. And a big supporter of KED is Buffalo Bills safety Jordan Poyer. Tonight, our Lauren Hall follows up with him 6 months after he shared with her the details of his fight against alcohol addiction.
From balling out and winning big in front of 70,000 fans at home on Sunday to getting up in front of a much smaller, more intimate crowd at the Kids Escaping Drugs Renaissance campus on Monday, Jordan Poyer brings the same passion and intensity to whatever he does.
I know that I'm an NFL athlete. I know that a lot of people have eyes on me. I know that one conversation, one compliment, one encouragement can change one of these kids' lives.
The Bills safety spent his day off this week screening his new documentary called The Kid from Astoria and answering questions.
Regardless of if some of them know who I am or not, you know, a lot of it talks about my struggle. And some of them have the same struggles, some have different struggles, but a struggle is a struggle regardless of, you know, what the struggle is.
Jordan has a common bond with every young person in this room. He gave up drinking in March 2020 and opened up about his recovery for the first time this past spring. First on social media, then here with me on Channel 2.
You know, I was drinking for all the wrong reasons. You know, thinking that my life was so hard. Some people really got some real stuff going on in life that, you know, made the stuff that I was worried about look like nothing.
Ever since, Jordan has dedicated his time away from the field to connecting with and helping others going through the same thing he did, especially young people.
I love being around young kids. You know, I think when I'm done playing, I want to be around. I want to be a coach. But, you know, like I said, I want to encourage these kids that, you know, it's okay to ask for help and continue to, you know, I want to keep coming back and keep seeing these kids, you know, telling me that they've been sober for X amount of days and telling me their success stories, because that's awesome to hear, you know.
His visits to the Renaissance campus leave him with a renewed sense of hope and community.
You know, I'm hoping as I continue to come back, I'm able to learn more about them, you know, if they're willing to share that, and if not, you know, just, you know, continue to, like I said, encourage them to be the best versions of themselves, because, you know, that's ultimately my goal. Is I just want to be the best version of Jordan Poyer.
For Channel 2 News, I'm Lauren Hall.
Lauren, thank you. And you're looking live again at the phone banks.
Yeah, volunteers from KFC are waiting to take your calls. You can see the number on your screen right there. Don't forget that your donation also enters you in to win a number of great prizes.
And here now with a special check presentation is our general manager here at Channel 2, Jim Tolner. Hi, Jim.
Thank you, Kate and Michael.
I'm here on behalf of Channel 2 and our parent company, Tegna, which offers generous grants to local nonprofits to help improve lives in the community that we serve. Today, we are proud to award a Tegna Foundation grant of $5,000 to kids escaping drugs to support KED's face-to-face program to educate young people on the dangers and consequences of substance abuse. It's an important initiative we care about deeply here at Channel 2, and we are happy to support this mission. Back to you guys.
Jim, that's awesome. And that $5,000 from the Tegna Foundation brings us total to $18,995. Our goal is $20,000 during our newscast tonight, so we are so close with more coverage to come.
And I love a big check.